Well, we are back for episode 7 of The Mandalorian, and I'm starting to wonder now if that title even applies anymore, because it is officially the Bo-Katan show, because we couldn't just do her show on her own over there and leave this show with the titular character, the Mandalorian. No, we couldn't do that. We had to give it to Bo-Katan. What a shocker. What an absolute shocker. That's the way it's turned out. They have robbed my clown from me. I mean, we literally had Mando this season slip into a bath, and they've now robbed that from us. We've now got Bo-Katan, who, you know, I really don't give a fuck about her in the slightest. She's just as boring as Mando. She doesn't really bring anything to the table. The performance is never that good, which is really surprising, considering it is Katie Sackhoff. Yet just her performance doesn't intrigue me. Nothing intriguing about it. But, you know, this is Dave Filoni's idea, I guess. You know, it's funny all his characters are now getting put to the forefront. You know, it's funny that. But that's what we're doing now. You know, you just think back to how this all began, like, with The Mandalorian. You had something, like interesting there. A bounty hunter going about bounty hunting. He did it in one episode, and that was it. When you could have just had something like, oh, a bounty hunter, you know, does his job and tries to find his place in the galaxy. We're now at, no, we've got to involve the Jedi. We've got to involve all this other bollocks. And it's like, why? But that's what we're dealing with. So this episode, because the previous episode was one of the worst episodes of the season. So this episode compared to that, of course, looks better. But it's not really. It's just meandering shite. It's just, we got to drag it out as much as we can by having people walk and walk and walk and walk, and you know, ships flying in. So we have a lot of that. It's a 45-minute episode, and boy, does it fucking drag. But again, it's like we've been wasting time this entire season. But let's get into it anyway. Let's get it done. We've only got one episode to go after this one. But it starts out on Coruscant with the evil woman. And she's because Moff Gideon has escaped. We didn't see any of it. He's just out and about now. He's fine. So, yeah, it's like this droid, and, you know, he appears like that. And he's like, oh, what is the report you got to make? What does she say? She just tells him about the Karga, but because apparently the Empire, or Moff Gideon rather, did in fact send the pirates to Navarro. Why? It's like we've seen the pirates in action. They were all inept, incompetent. So I don't know for what reason he sent them there. But that, you know, she tells him, oh, they were aided by the Mandalorians. One tribe and the other tribe have now come together or something. So yeah, he's like, oh, but they don't get along. So he's like, I'll deal with our Mandalorian friends. And then he goes, we have to watch him walk all this way. It's like, come on, Giancarlo's getting on. You know, you're making him walk all that way. I'm already confused at, like, what the point in all this is. You know, he walks through all these, like, red gateways. It's like, why do you have that? I don't, it's like it's just all these doorways that are, like, a few meters away from each other. That just, when he gets to them, that one opens, closes behind him, then it's like, what is the point in that? I don't know why you've got that as a feature. I really don't. So he's going to have a meeting with, we've got one character from the sequel trilogy, Hux. You know, how's that going now? People that said, oh, they're gonna get rid of the sequel trilogy. Yeah, sure. So yeah, they're just like, oh, the New Republic will, you know, if they think that we're more than just an unorganized, you know, whatever, they throw in Grand Admiral Thrawn. I wouldn't be surprised if he turns up in the final episode, because we've got Ahsoka next. So I guess that's what they're gonna do with that. Good luck, Admiral Thrawn fans. They're probably gonna destroy him. Yeah, they're like, oh, he's gonna bring back the Empire or some shit. So yeah, whatever. We ain't seen him, have we? Yeah, we've got like Hux, and he's just telling them about the Mandalorians, and even a guy says we're still having issues with the Mandalorians, because it's like really surprising at this point, because they're so incompetent. I don't know why they're even a concern. I mean, they're more likely kill themselves than the Empire needing to go after them. So that's Hux there. He was in the sequel trilogy, remember? So yeah, already like Moff Gideon's like, oh, I'm confident the Mandalorians are going to retake Mandalore. I don't really know why you would even think that. You know, other than based on that the two tribes were getting along. But even then, it's like, well, you told them that, you know, Mandalore was no longer safe. It was done for. And funnily enough, none of the Mandalorians fought to ever check until season 3. Never fought to check before until Mando went there. So I don't even know. He must have read the script. He must have read the script. Oh, they're trying to retake Mandalore. And then he goes, right, they're trying to retake Mandalore. I read the script from Jon Favreau. That is apparently what they're doing. Because he's got nothing to go on to assume that is the case. So, yeah, we just have this scene with that. He asks for those, what are they called? You know, the red-wearing things? What are they? The paleontologists? You know, whatever they are. I honestly forget what they're called now. But they turn up later on, so that's what he's asking for. He's on about, you need to share your equipment with me. Right? And then, like, when they finish up, he starts shouting, long live the Empire! Why are we doing that? Shouting, long live the Empire. So so they've done that. Moff Gideon's back. We didn't see how he escaped or anything like that. He's just back. He's just back, you see. We didn't have to explain it. He's just back. And then we go to Navarro, and there's the Mandalorian ships are flying over it. So to waste time, Grief Cargo has an argument with a droid about, oh no, that's not the Empire, and that robot says, oh no, according to my data, it is. And Cargo's like, no, look at the sigil on the bottom. It's like, yeah, again, the audience already knows that, yes, this is the Mandalorians. We've seen them in the previous episode in this ship, so there's no reason for you to explain this to us. Unless you think the audience are as dumb as Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are, the two that wrote this episode. But again, it's all just fucking wasting time. It's so obvious, yet people go, oh no, there's so much story. No, there isn't. It's just two people standing and explaining what we know. Just to waste a little time. So then we have to watch the ship fly through the sky very slowly, and then land. And then the Mandalorians walk slowly up to each other. It's like, just get the fuck on with it. So they all meet. The armorer woman comes out and says, let's give our guests a feast and some shit. I'm really tired of her now. She's really annoying. Really grating. Just talk normal. Just talk normal. But she talks like a fucking asshole. So, I'm at the end of my tether with her. But they've all turned up. And then Grief Cargo runs over all the way across the desert to give Mando, a bottle of Jim Beam. I don't know what it is. That's from Coruscant. That's a gift for him. He says, I've got another gift for you. So then we come to the stupid. That it's just par for the course for this show, isn't it? We always have to throw the absolute just stupid shit in here. So IG-11 is back. It's being controlled by a Babu Frick fucking creature thing. So you can already tell where they're going with this. And already it's like, what the fuck are you doing? I just see shit like this and I'm like, I can't believe this is Star Wars now. Just the really just... I don't get it. So apparently this is a gift for... Like, it no longer has its memory circuit. Remember, apparently that's what they were going to do in episode 1 and completely forgot about it. But they've turned it into a vehicle, so it has controls. So Grief Cargo is going to give it to a baby. I don't know. I don't know why people don't realise it. That is a fucking baby. But no, it can just operate heavy machinery. Just easily. So even Mando says, oh, he's too young to operate heavy machinery. And Grief Cargo's like, nah, he's not. Nah, let him get in it. Let him get in it. He might fucking kill someone. But that's the... it's so dumb. It does get dumber. So we've now got Baby Yoda operating an IG-11 fucking unit. You know, again, I just have to repeat it. I cannot believe that whoever, you know, Jon Favreau and that think, oh, that's a good idea. It doesn't come across like we're absolutely backwards by going, oh, we put Yoda in the IG-11 unit. And then he can walk about in it. It's like, that's all there is to it. He can't shoot anything. He can just walk about in it. And they've given that to a baby. So that's what we're doing there. Great. So, you know, he's banging in the stuff already. And then he starts... greedy little fucker. He starts eating, I don't know, looks like KFC chicken or something. Mando's like, no, Grogu, you got to pay for that. And then we literally have Grogu holding the little thing up there like, oh, you can't reach it. And Mando's like, give it back, Grogu. And I'm just like, fucking hell. It's so unbelievable that that's where we've gotten. We've literally got the Mandalorian going, give me it back. Give me it to a baby. And yeah, also this machine has a yes and no button. So Grogu can press it and it says yes, 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 yes. And he just does it over and over again. So that's our stupid for the episode. Or the most stupid shit. So Bo-Katan's going to give a speech. It's the most... we're going to retake Mandalore. I need volunteers from each tribe. From both tribes. Does she really say anything else? Yeah, they want to go and find the Great Forge. Because they lost it or something. You know, I don't know. They seem to... It seems to be like... So you're going back to this planet that you lived and you have to find it. I don't know why you don't just know where it is. But not to worry. There's people living on Mandalore. Right, okay, after it is bombed to oblivion. Yeah, there's Mandalorians still surviving on there. Oh my god, it's just so fucking stupid, this show. So that's what's happening. You know, it drags on for too long. It's just people standing up. It's that girl with a weird haircut. I don't know what this braid is, but it looks fucking stupid. So they all fly off. They're gonna have their fleet in orbit, and then a group of them is gonna go down to make sure it's safe to land or something like that. You know, I don't really know why they can't just land. It's like, just go down and land. You know, I find it funny that they're now going back here. Right, we're going to live back on Mandalore. It's like, what are you doing about food then? It's like, I imagine you've brought food with you, but how long is that going to last? You know, whatever. Don't really think about that, do they? So they fly down. They jump out the ship. They all land, and they're like, right, let's go and find Mandalore. So they start walking. Again, it's just a montage of them walking. Great. That will waste some screen time. And then, yeah, a ship flies up to them on a planet. Luckily they've landed somewhere near a ship that has Mandalorians on them, and these are Mandalorians that have been living on Mandalore, even though, as they state in this episode, the surface was bombed twice over, yet you're still alive. Okay, so they've happened across them, which is lucky because they know where the Great Forge is. Even though I'm like, why would you even lose it? Bo-Katan used to live here. So yeah, they're like, is that the voice of Lady Bo-Katan? And one of the guys says, we knew you would not forsake us. We have failed you, but our blasters remain in your service. So now they're going to have a bit of a conversation, and that's when we get. They bombed every surface twice over, but there's people alive. Okay. That's how that works, You bomb a planet, and you're fine. That's how that works, apparently. So then Bo-Katan gives a story about, because they say, oh, the Empire punished us because we never surrendered. And then she goes, actually, I did surrender. I surrendered to Moff Gideon. The ISB were going to be negotiating a ceasefire. And that, they had to, give all their weapons. So that's how Moff Gideon got the Darksaber. Yet the Darksaber works where you have to duel someone for it. That's how it works. So, yeah, the idea, you just give it to Moff Gideon, and now it's his. And even later on, it's like Moff Gideon just says, oh, surrender me the Darksaber. It's like, yeah, but that's not how it works. You have to duel her. You have to fight her for it. No, that's just got flung out the window. Now it's just, oh, no, if I take it off you, oh, it's mine. Even though I didn't fight you for it. So that's the story she tells. Yeah, she's just like, if we, for submitting to the Empire, Moff Gideon was going to, leave the remaining cities and the rest of the Mandalorian lives, alone. And then he betrayed her. It's like, well, of course he did. I don't know why you trusted him in the first place. Of course he was going to screw you over. So that girl, I don't know what that hair is. I really don't know what that's supposed to be. So, yeah, that's the story she tells. So, she's also upset about that or something. Yeah, she says, because they're trying to go for, oh, it was the division of the Mandalorians, that's what destroyed us. She says, Mandalore has always been too powerful to defeat. It's like, no, you were literally defeated. So she says, oh, it was always our own division that destroyed us. So, that essentially makes you easy to destroy if you can't, come together as a team. So she says that, and then we get the official, oh, it's now Bo-Katan's show, where Mando comes up and says, oh, we were taught that you were uncaring and stuff like that, that you didn't give a shit. It's so fucking boring, this shit. She's just like, oh, well, there's too much animosity, and the only thing that is unifying the Mandalorians is this Darksaber, which is fucking stupid. They've got the same problem that Wakanda does, where what they have based on, it's all based on who is in charge is, they have something. It's not really a good way to have it, is it? So, yeah, Mando's just like, oh, I don't care about any of that. What I care about is honor. He even has the goal to say character. It's like, what characters? The only character in this show that actually has character is fucking Dr. Pershing. He's got, the most character in the entire Mandalorian show. So he's like, I don't care about that. I care about your honor, your loyalty. And then he says, these are the reasons I serve you, Lady Kryze, you submissive twat. So, yeah, he's given it to her show. He's like, your song is not yet written, and I will serve you until it is. So yeah, it's no longer Mando's show. It's Bo-Katan's show. What a surprise. What a shocker. Who's seen that coming? You know, I think it comes down to a lot of things. One of them being Pedro Pascal has no fucking interest in this show because he's not... What is there to, you know, generally actors want something with a bit of meat on the bone. You don't really have that with Mando. There's a reason why Pedro Pascal just does voiceover work. He's never in the suit because he has no fucking interest in it. You know, because I really don't know how you go from, like, say, The Last of Us, where you're playing an actual character, to this, where there's nothing to play with, is there? Nothing to play with whatsoever. So I think that's definitely one of the reasons. I think this was always the plan anyway. So Dave Filoni can fucking wank himself to it. Let's be honest. So, yeah, they're going to continue in the morning. So they start going towards this thing, and then yeah. So what they're trying to do in this scene actually is hold on a second. They're trying to show you how fragile, like, these different Mandalorian factions are, and they just do it in the most immature way possible. They just have these two start fighting over a game of chess, rather than something a bit more, you know, a bit more interesting. Maybe, I don't know, some sort of disagreement over philosophy, you know, something like that. But no, it's just, oh no, we play chess like this. And he's like, oh no, we play chess like this. And they fight over it. And nobody steps in. Because apparently they can't. Even though if one of them kills the other one, that's definitely going to cause division with both factions of the Mandalorians. So maybe step in and break up the fight. No, Baby Yoda has to do it. For some reason, he's the only one with sense that goes, all right, stop it, guys. Because everyone else is just like, nah, let them kill each other. You know, I thought they were your friends. Okay. So, yeah, Grogu breaks it up. And then Bo-Katan says to Mando, oh, you taught your apprentice well. And he says, oh, I didn't teach him that. What, to break up a fight? What? You know, whatever. So that was very strange, fighting over a game of chess. That's what we do in order to show how fragile these factions are being together. So the gauntlet's going up to them. So yeah, they start like sailing across the surface, and then what do you know? A dragon jumps out of the surface, or, you know, looks like a dragon. It's just like this big massive monster. You can see it there. It's like, I don't know how that survived. You're dealing with a planet that has literally no food. So how has this managed to survive? Even when they come down to the planet and those Mandalorians come over, even though they should be dead, because as they said, the surface was bombed twice over. Even they said, do you have any food? So it's very obvious. There's very little food, but no, we've got another gigantic monster where it's like, what is... Every monster they introduce, you just have, like, you know, a big massive thing in the middle of the desert. It's like, what is that eating? How is that surviving? And it's just the same here. They don't think about it. So and then they just drive into it. Why are you driving into it? Like they seen this rising up from a distance, and they just keep going. It's like, brake. Don't drive into the rocks and then get yourself lodged in them. But again, it's fucking Mandalorians. They're so stupid. And then yeah, what do you know? They get off the ship. They run into a cave. Oh, it's the Great Forge. That's how they found it. Was, oh, a dragon rises out of the ground. We run into a cave and we're where we need to be. And then what the... And then, of course, it turns out, which we will get to. We'll get to. I think it's worth waiting. So, yeah, they're at the Grand Forge because a dragon rose out of the ground and they ran into a cave and they're here. Yeah, they're looking over it, and then it's stormtroopers in Beskar armor that they now have, And what do you know? They're easily killed, whereas the Mandalorians, every shot hits them in their, in their armor, even though like only like a certain percentage of them are covered. So of course that's the case. So they turn up, and they're like, "Oh, we're outnumbered." So they run further into the cave, and it's an Empire base. That's very convenient, isn't it? Just honestly, those events. Just a dragon rises out. We run into a cave. It's where we need to be, and where we need to be also just so happens to turn out to be an Empire base where Moff Gideon is. Right. Okay. That's how that works apparently. And what's especially weird to me about this is you've had Mandalorians surviving on Mandalore, yet have never seen all these TIE fighters and everything flying off out in the sky. You would think they would have mentioned it. Because if you've got nothing flying about in the skies of Mandalore, if you see something, it's like, that's fucking weird. I'm just like surprised that you never noticed it before. So they're fight like Mando and the big one. They get Mando and someone else gets trapped outside in a trapdoor, and they just start shooting it. It's like it's a blast door. Bo-Katan just taps the glass with her gun. You got the Darksaber, just cut through it. Just cut through it. You could easily do that. And she does it with the other blast door. So you could have done it here. So they capture Mando. They got him. I was just like, are they going to kill him? Because that's what I think's coming. I think they're going to kill him off. I think because he's now taken prisoner by what's his name, by Moff Gideon, who's in black Beskar armor, and he's like, this is what's going to finally bring order to the galaxy. They take him to the debriefing room or something like that. I'm like, why are you keeping him? You got no reason to keep him alive. Just kill him. No, there's literally no reason to go. No, we've got to interrogate him. What for? He doesn't have anything. And I know people will probably make the argument that, he's doing it to use against Bo-Katan for the Darksaber. It's like he doesn't even know Bo-Katan's here yet. And he's like, we keep him alive. I'm like, why? There's no point. They're also gonna blow up this fleet in orbit. They're gonna destroy them. He realizes now, that's Bo-Katan. So Bo-Katan, like, he opens the blast door and she's like cuts through it the back way so they can all leave. The big guy sacrifices himself. He gets shot like 1,000 times and he's fine. Whereas all the stormtroopers, they're easily slaughtered, just easily. Because of course they are. Because they're just stormtroopers. So he manages to beat them, he's fine. But then the red guys come out. Remember these? The paleontologists, whatever the fuck they are. I did actually Google what they were, and now I forget that. So that's like, they kill that guy, and that's it. It's kind of a shit way to introduce them, to be honest. It's like they're not really being used for what they're known for, which they're like highly skilled martial arts guy, and they sent them in to kill one guy. That was a bit of a waste of them, wasn't it? They didn't even need to do that. I mean, the amount of times the guy got shot, he should be dead already. So yeah, it's those. It's First Order shit. No. So that is the end of the episode. That was that was really not much happened, really, did it? That episode. It was just there's some stuff. There's some stuff, but there's, in the grand scheme of things, there's not really anything going on. It's just they go to Mandalore. There happens to be people still alive on Mandalore. We come across a dragon. We run into a cave. We come across the Great Forge that also happens to be an Empire base. Moff Gideon takes Mando hostage. for some reason, even though he's got no reason to. No reason to whatsoever. But my guess is they're probably going to kill Mando off. What's the point in him being here anymore? There's no point to it whatsoever. No point. So you might as well kill him off. And make it official. Well, it is officially the Bo-Katan show. Mando's already literally handed his balls to her. Because why not? Because why not? That's what we've got coming from Lucasfilm anyway. Not a man to be seen. But that is the episode. I really ain't got much else to say about this one. I'm just like, yeah, it was just a bit of a drag, boring, some dumb stuff in it. Maybe some stuff that I'd say it's fine. It doesn't really bother me. But overall, it's still just fucking just a show that exists. It's not doing anything special. It's not, again, you put this episode next to the previous episode, it makes this episode look better. But really, it's got similar problems. Really contrived. Again, I think the stupidest thing is probably putting Baby Yoda in an IG-11 unit. And then you've also got, you've got all that fucking long list of contrivances there. We couldn't come up with a natural way of it happening. And then you've got Mandalorians that survived on Mandalore after stating they bombed the surface twice over. Yet we're like, it's not, oh, we went underground. They didn't go underground. They said, oh no, we didn't go underground because people that went underground never came back or something. So I'm just like, why are you alive? Who knows? But they haven't retook Mandalore, have they? If there's an empire based on it, it's like, well, it's the empire, isn't it? So I don't know what we're going to do to resolve that. At this point, I'm looking forward to finishing. I just want to get it done and out of the way. Because it's really offered up nothing. The best episode we've had was episode 3. That actually had a character in it. Other than that, every episode has been fucking garbage. I'm kind of, the worst episode, I'm still split between the previous episode and episode 4, I think. They're definitely up there for worst episodes. This episode was just very, very meandering. People walking down hallways. Right, we don't need to see that. But yeah, who knows where they go. We already know this is going in the sequel territory. That's where it's all leading. I think we're now getting a film from Dave Filoni that brings all the stuff told in The Mandalorian and Ahsoka. It brings it all together in one movie or something like that. Alright, okay. But yeah, I don't really see... Again, it's just the Bo-Katan show now. You could have done something different with this. You could have just had a bounty hunter doing bounty hunting, trying to find his place in the galaxy. And that's all you needed to do. But then you tack on all this other shit. And it's just like, oh yeah, it just turns into just typical, like, current Lucasfilm sludge. So that's where we're at with The Mandalorian, or rather the Bo-Katan show. But I've got nothing more to add about this episode. I don't give a fuck about anything, like, really, with this. I've got no investment whatsoever. Again, the only time I've been invested in season 3 is the episode 3. Because actually, although it does lead into fucking bullshit anyway, at least you had Dr. Pershing, who was a character, who had motivations and stuff. You had him trying to like figure out what he's gonna do now. He's finally got away from the Empire. It's simple stuff like that. That's all you need to do. But of course, you get people that say, "Oh, that's just boring." But you pile a load of action scenes in there, it makes it somehow not boring. I get where they show the action scenes were good, but they're not. It's like I'm not concerned for any of the Mandalorians. I know they're all going to be fine. So there's no really reason for investment in that. But I will finish off there. That's, we've done with that episode. The finale comes next week, and I don't know. It's so unpredictable, this show. You know, it's sort of predictable, but also unpredictable. To the like, just unpredictable in the sense it's like, what dumb shit are they gonna do next week? But yeah, it's just it's gonna be a show that probably goes on and on and on. But at least we're almost finished with this season. Then it's probably going to be like another 2 years to the next season. Who knows? Who knows? But I will be back for episode 8 next week, and then we are finally done with The Mandalorian season 3.